Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening. Wherever you are in the world, welcome and thank you for joining us. We are live at AutoSens Brussels from the Auto World Museum. Surrounded by the history of the automobile while simultaneously embracing its future, we're thrilled to conduct the latest edition of AutoVision News live at AutoSens, where we talk with some of the world's leading minds in ADAS and autonomous vehicle technology development, all from inside the warm and nostalgic embrace of this incredible venue. Returning to our broadcast is Sergey Velichko, who's responsible for technology and product development for the automotive sensing division at OnSemi, a role he's held since 2007. Sergey has authored or co-authored more than 50 publications and 45 issued and pending patents. His interests include intelligent sensor technology and strategic product development, novel imaging pixel architectures, pixel modeling, and innovations in image sensor designs. He's also a senior IEEE member. Sergey, glad to have you back here at AutoSens. Welcome back. Good to talk to you again.
Yeah, Carl, thank you again for inviting me. It's my pleasure to be here at this stage and also be part of the AutoSens this year. And hopefully in future continue moving forward with AutoSenses around the world.
Indeed. We know that OnSemi is an innovator and a leader in the field, but Sergey, just give us a refresher. Tell us a little bit about OnSemi and maybe some of the latest news and innovations, and then an overview of the work that you do.
Right. As you may know, OnSemi is a leading supplier of power electronics and imaging sensors for automotive industry. And being a leader has its own weight and role. So we're trying to be very innovative to enable whatever revolutionary changes are happening in the automotive industry. So we enable, transitioning to electrical vehicles en masse, as well as enabling ADAS, autonomous driving, that makes our lives easier and more convenient, but also much more safer on the road. So this is a privilege to be part of this transformation.
Of course. Sergey, here in Brussels, what have you been showcasing to our AutoSens attendees?
So this year we brought and showed to the audience our new generation automotive image sensors. We call it Hyperlux family. That shows very interesting and leading performance on the market right now. And yesterday during my presentation, I showed some insights into the technology and how that impacts the image quality of automotive cameras, and in turn, how that may impact the safety on the road, and being pleased with this introduction of this new family. But we also brought other sensors like integrating time-of-flight sensors that may be used effectively for in-cabin applications, and very interesting vehicle motion, very low-power sensors that may power applications for sentry protection, for car protection, and not draining car batteries where they're parking somewhere on the road. So on, and also protecting the cargo in the cars and so on. So very interesting new advancements in automotive imaging.
Yeah, it's exciting, Sergey. In the past, in our prior interviews, we've talked about car eyes, and I want to revisit this because I think it's always fascinating when you go through this. So tell us, what are car eyes, and then how is that applied then to automotive?
Yes, so cameras in the car, right? We're all familiar with rear view cameras. Like you put a car in reverse and you see the back, what is on the back of the car on the screen, and this is excellent, right? But nowadays more and more cameras are being introduced in the cars, like from typically 2-3 cameras per car, it jumps to 12 cameras, 15 cameras, 20 cameras, and they are doing invisible work for us, right? They're sensing around the car. These are eyes of the car. And by sensing, they detect everything around the cars and make sure that the car is providing the safe environment.
Right.
I presented this like a year ago. By statistics, number of deaths in Europe drop almost 3 times with the introduction of this kind of sensing systems in the car.
Sure.
And I hope this trend will continue in future, and we will reach this ultimate goal, Vision Zero goal, zero deaths on the road, because all cars will be safe and reliable, right? And the current ice is very interesting. We go on the road, testing all our cameras side by side, and sometimes I look at these sceneries on like in dark night conditions. My eyes cannot see anything, right? I cannot see details. But with these most innovative imaging sensors, most innovative cameras, we capture all these details in most challenging night conditions, daylight conditions. The eyes of the better than our eyes, the human being eyes. And this is amazing, that how well and how far technology progress, how much innovation goes in the cameras. And this is good because this provides foundation for safer roads on everywhere around the world.
Absolutely. We're speaking with Sergey Velichko, who's responsible for technology and product development for the automotive sensing division at OnSemi, a role he's held since 2007. Sergey, we've been obviously talking about cameras and ADAS. So when it comes to advances in automotive cameras for ADAS and autonomous driving, what direction do you think we're heading in? What trends are on the horizon?
Right. I mentioned from the current 2-3 cameras, the next wave of mass-produced cars will have like at least a dozen of cameras. So it's explosion, right, of number of cameras. In addition to this, from like 1-2 megapixel cameras of today's cars, most of these newer designs will have 8 megapixel cameras, and also there are talks going to high resolutions and so on. And this is understandable.
Yes.
We want to detect better. We want to detect farther away from the cars.
Yes.
We want to detect all these objects, vulnerable road users like children on the road and so on, in all lighting conditions. So the performance of these cameras is improving, right? It's evolutionary process, and this is very good because it leads to safer roads. But also looking forward, what to expect? I think the trend will continue.
Sure.
We will throw more and more cameras, more and more high resolutions, and generate orders of magnitude more data.
Sure.
And exactly for this goal, right? Convenience on the road, cars that would drive themselves, but also, in addition to convenience, providing safe environments. Less deaths on the road, less injuries, less accidents, and so on.
Of course.
This is very good, right? In addition to cameras, of course, all other sensing modalities are introduced, are radars, lidars, and this all goes to the cars. And this is an excellent trend. I would expect somewhere by 2050 or so, in about, I don't know, 25 years from now, majority of cars on the road would be fully electrical and with full autonomous driving. So you basically jump in the car and drives you to the destination, and you say goodbye and you do your things, enjoy the life. Then again call, I know, shuttle again, jump into the car and delivers you to the home, to the family. So convenience, but also this, less deaths on the road. So by 2050, zero deaths on the road. This is ultimate goal of European. I know in the European Union they have this ultimate goal, and we as a suppliers, as a part of this picture, we making sure we deliver the sensors that are needed for this. Right?
Of course.
So high resolutions, better performing, beyond the human vision kind of approach that we take for now and for.
Sergey, with everything we've been talking about in all these different sensor modalities, why is it important that we pay attention to things like cost, form factor, power consumption, have those things at the top of our list to consider?
Right, right. Very good question, because as I mentioned, number of cameras increases, number of different sensors inside the car increases. This camera costs something, right?
Sure.
Each of these sensor costs. Now you add cost of the wires, you add cost of the computing power needed to process this amount of data, right? And it generates lots of power, right?
Sure.
And so that's why it's so important to keep this in mind when you design new sensors, new cameras, new sensor modalities, and so on, to keep powers under control, and also to keep costs under control.
Sure.
Because if you increase like number of sensors 10 times and same cost, all of a sudden the cost of this solutions in the car, all of a sudden it's the biggest cost in the car.
Yeah, right.
Sometimes it may be even bigger than the current cost of the current cars, right? And that should be under control. So it should be affordable, right?
Yes.
It should be kept where we as a customers, as a users, could afford it, could pay for it,
Yes.
and enjoy it, and see the safest road around us in the urban environment and rural environment. And this is why it's so important. This is why, as a whole industry, we address this preemptively.
Sure.
Right? Preemptively.
Yes.
Preemptively. This is important.
I like that, preemptively addressing it. I like that. I like that, Sergey. It's always great to have you back and to be with us. Last question before, I know that your booth, your display has been busy, so we don't want to keep you too long. But what is your favorite car and why?
Yes, I am a Subaru fan. So I own like my third Subaru. My daughters own Subarus.
Yeah.
Because we like outdoors. So in the city, very good outside of the city, and also safe.
Yeah.
It's not only traction, but because it has all these cameras around it.
Yeah.
And I'm proud because all these cameras has OnSemi sensors.
Sure.
Like a famous eyesight from Subaru, this stereo camera.
Yeah.
Is so excellent. And it can detect these objects in front of the car at high speeds, far away from the car, and making sure that no accidents happens and so on. It has this blind spot cameras, a rear view camera, and so on. Multiple cameras, and I know we love it, right?
Yeah.
Our family loves it. The driving is excellent, all-wheel drive, very safe on roads in Idaho.
Sure.
We have snow on the roads, we have ice on roads, and it's very safe. But also these cameras that provides additional level of safety. That's what we really appreciate. And I know Subaru working on the next generation with us.
Sure.
And I hope to see the future Subarus to be even more reliable, even safer, right, than it is now. And being part of it, being user of it, it's very rewarding. Very rewarding.
There is, interesting for our viewers as well, there's a thing on Subaru's website that actually has a segment called Eyesight Stories.
Right.
And these are testimonials of Subaru owners who were at the beginning were hesitant for ADAS, and they said, well, I've owned Subarus forever, and I guess if it has the eyesight package, whatever, I'll take it. It's not a big deal. It's probably something I'm never going to use. And then it goes back and it tells the stories of these drivers in really sort of mundane, not extraordinary, mundane driving situations of where they were headed home or they were headed on a road trip, driving the type of driving we do every day.
Exactly.
And how, things in the eyesight package ended up saving their lives.
Exactly.
It's really, and how they changed their view on ADAS, and then saying, I've been a Subaru customer forever. Now that I've had it once, I don't know that I would own another Subaru without it.
Exactly.
Yes.
Yep. And it's Carl, you're very right. It's not only generates this convenience, safety, but also loyalty, right? The loyalty to smart decisions that Subaru put into their cars, and they continue putting it, and they watch costs, right?
Yeah, right.
Because it should be affordable.
Yeah.
It should be affordable. We pay this extra, I don't know, $1,000, $2,000, but it's more than affordable, and it really saves lives. It really. I experienced it a few times in my life. That these cameras detected some obstacles or other cars coming across, and it really saved me from accidents.
Yeah.
And I really appreciate what Subaru did and does. And of course, it's all enabled by all these sensors we deliver, all cameras designed around it. And it's not only us, right? It's the whole industry working towards this. Optical lens designers, power component designers, cable designers, tier one designing the cameras, and so on. It's very important we work together, together, making sure it happens and it's affordable and it's on the road and the cars.
Sergey, always a pleasure to have Velichko, who's responsible for technology and product development for the automotive sensing division at OnSemi, a role he's held since 2007. Sergey, thanks for being with us, sharing your expertise and your thought leadership. There's always a microphone here for you. So when we have AutoSens again, let's get connected. Let's have you back again real soon.
Right, absolutely. Yeah, Carl, my pleasure.
Truly,
my pleasure.
Truly. Again, speaking with Sergey Velichko, more to come from AutoSens here in Brussels as we continue our Auto Vision News live broadcast from the Auto World Museum alongside Sergey Velichko. I'm Carl Anthony, Auto Vision News.